Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 action film Life After Fighting. The film is written, directed, and stars Bren Foster. We also have Cassie Howarth, Luke Ford, and Anthony Nassif. Right. The film focuses on Bren Foster's character, Alex Faulkner, who is he used to be a fighter. He had to retire due to a lot of injuries and things like that, but he was, one of the best fighters out there. And he is now running a martial arts school, and this is in Australia, a very successful martial arts school. And then he meets Samantha. She comes along to the martial arts school with her young son, Terry. She wants to get martial arts classes for her son. And she sparks up a relationship with herself and Alex. This then really upsets her ex, Victor, who is a vicious and horrible man. And then, out of the blue, there are some children that are abducted right from outside the martial arts school. They are gone missing for weeks. The community is devastated. And then Samantha and Alex essentially stumble across where they're being kept, who has got them, and it turns into a fight for survival at that point. Right. What are my thoughts on Life After Fighting? Well, I've had this on my watch list for a few weeks now. And it was one that I thought, well, I'll get around to this eventually, but it didn't sound that interesting, the synopsis, the poster, the film title. It just sounded all fairly generic sort of stuff. So I'll be honest, I wasn't in a rush to watch this one. After watching this, I have to say, guys, this film absolutely blew me away. Stunning film. The effort that's gone in here in this film. Bren Foster, I know very little about him. All I know, and I looked this guy up, is he did the voice for Mad Max in the Mad Max game in 2015. Beyond that, he's done a few other bits and pieces, Deep Blue Sea 3 or something like that. But if I have seen him before, I've never seen him do a martial arts movie. And I will have to question why. Because after seeing what he can do in this film, I want to see more of this guy doing action films. What a film. But what I really liked about this film was that, yes, it was an action film, but the backdrop story was so gripping, in my opinion, so delicately done, that it had you on the edge of your seat before any kicks were thrown or any punches were thrown in this film. It was handled very, very carefully by Bren Foster, the writer and director, and sensitively, this human trafficking storyline and these children that have been abducted and the devastating effects on the community, and someone who's very close to him that works at the martial arts school, her two daughters have gone missing. And it's handled carefully, they don't sugarcoat it, he doesn't jump to the rescue immediately. This goes on for weeks. They're missing for weeks of these kids. And the general consensus is no one's getting these kids back. And they're all slowly coming to terms with it and trying to deal with it emotionally. And it just so happens, really, that this Samantha that Alex has started a relationship with stumbles upon where they are, sort of thing, which kind of triggers, as I say, this kind of fight for survival. So up to that point, the main martial arts that you get in this film is you get quite a few martial arts scenes with him in the school, with the students training, and it all feels very genuine. Wouldn't surprise me if that was actually his martial arts school. I'd have no idea if it is or not, but it just felt very genuine and real, and they looked like real students, and it was done really, really well. There's a scene where some horrible types kind of turn up at the class trying to pretend they're amateurs, but in actual fact they're very, very skilled, and they start hurting some of the students, so he steps in to stop them. There's another one where some bully tries to get involved with something, and he stops him. And then one of his former rivals, when he was a competitive fighter, kind of turns up at the gym, and they kind of make friends, and then they have a one-on-one together. But none of that might sound particularly inspiring. But the martial arts is, even up to that point, very, very special and very, very realistic, and stunning to watch. I'm not sure I've seen martial arts done this good for a long, long time, and I can't emphasize that enough. Probably the last time I remember being blown away by martial arts like this was the biker films. Maybe. So, an occasional Scott Adkins film. But even then, they kind of felt like movie martial arts. This doesn't feel like movie martial arts. This feels very, very grounded, but utterly and completely believable and brutal. So you've got all this stuff that has really got your attention grabbed, because the performances are really excellent by everybody here. It's like a drama in between like the martial artsy stuff, and then when he's called into action at the end of the film, when he's got to protect these children, sort of thing, at his school. The school is kind of invaded by all these killers and criminals to kind of get these kiddies back, and he's got to protect them, and he's got to keep them. And I don't want to sound like I'm exaggerating here, because sometimes I'm guilty of this, as I suppose many of us are. When you watch a film that really impresses you, you can kind of over exaggerate, or be overly too impressed with the film, and I'm kind of like that sometimes. If I come straight out of the cinema with a film that I've really enjoyed, sometimes I'm buzzing from it. But I am still buzzing from this film, because I love to find hidden gems. It's one of the best things about this channel. Sometimes you just stumble across a film that nobody's talking about at all. You find it, you watch it, and you're like, God almighty, this film needs an audience, and this film needs an audience. It really does. So the end sequence of this film is just non-stop martial arts at the level of which I can't recall seeing before, and it's done incredibly. You'll swear blind that the CGI and it's sped up, but there are statements from him and the stunt team saying that none of it was sped up. It was all completely genuine and all in camera and all real, which just makes it even more amazing. Honestly, guys, if you love martial arts action films, or action films in general, you're going to come away with from this one, I think, with your mind blown a little bit. Even if you're not particularly interested in the drama side of things, the human trafficking storyline, which I think is done pretty well for a film of this level. The martial arts, I can't see how anybody watching this can't walk away impressed with the martial arts. I would love to see more films like this from Bren Foster. He's obviously talented behind the camera, writing as well, because he wrote this, and as a martial artist himself, incredible stuff. Really, really, I can't honestly recommend this film highly enough. It's so superbly done for like the budget that they've got to work with. It feels a nicely polished film, well made, strong performances, and the action is absolutely on point. So if you're watching this review, you're looking for a bit of a hidden gem, you like action films, you like martial arts, you need to go and watch this film right away, because a lot of people are going to miss this one, because the poster's not exactly inspiring, the title is not exactly inspiring. So I think a lot of people are going to kind of skim past this one, and I implore you, don't give this one a watch and have a good time while you do. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy this review. I'll be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.